The rules are simple. You kill a god and you get to replace them. But no one does it. No one wants to find out why the gods don't seem to care when one of them dies. I strode up the iron stairs toward the god of war. In my hand, a gun loaded with ammunition painstakingly etched with runes of banishment. Around my neck and wrists hung wards of negation, talismans to shield me from divine power. Everyone called this mission folly. They said there had to be a reason the gods didn't care when one was replaced. But I cared. Armies had rampaged through my city, leveling entire blocks without a shred of concern for civilians. I didn't seek the god of war's power out of greed, I only wanted the wars to stop. If I took his throne, I could bring peace. Humanity would finally be free from endless bloodshed. As I approached, I expected fear or anger from the god. But instead, I saw boredom? Relief? It didn't matter. I aimed carefully at his face. I would end this, stop the suffering. But something in me hesitated. Well? The god asked, his tone disinterested. Are you going to pull the trigger or not? If I pull this trigger, even you will die. You aren't truly immortal. I snarled, my voice trembling with the rage of countless nights of terror, of watching untold innocents die. You deserve to die for what you've done. What I've done? What I have done. The god finally showed some emotion. A flicker of anger crossed his face. I have done nothing. Your fellow mortals surpassed my abilities at slaughter centuries ago. Humans blame the gods for their failings because it's easier. I don't believe you. My finger tightened on the trigger, almost against my will. The god scoffed, waving his hand dismissively. Then shoot. I've been the god of war for more than 1,000 years. I had my fill of slaughter long before I shoved a blade into Ares' throat. And what led me to that act pales in comparison to what I've seen since. I stared at him for a moment longer, then pulled the trigger. The god's head snapped back, and he slumped in his throne. Power surged through me, ripping through every fiber of my being. I convulsed, collapsing to the ground next to the lifeless body of the god. Gasping for air, I realized I could see everything. Every act of violence in the world unfolded before my eyes. Not just wars, domestic abuse, children torturing animals, skirmishes, pitched battles. The endless cycle of humanity's violence bombarded my mind. But I was the god of war now. I could stop it all, I told myself. I reached out, determined to end the bloodshed, to bring peace. But nothing happened. Slowly, agonizingly, I understood the truth. The god had told me the truth. Humanity didn't need a god of war to stoke the flames of violence. The desire for destruction and cruelty came from within us. The gods were not to blame. And now, I, the man who sacrificed his humanity to end the slaughter, would spend eternity as a witness to every act of horror mankind could dream up. I had taken on the mantle of a god, but I was powerless to stop what I had hoped to change. As tears rolled down my cheeks, despair overwhelmed me, and I began to scream.